Hi there, a very good morning and good afternoon to all of you, depending on wherever you are watching me. This is Simply Stocks, and today I'm going to talk about the next market slump, or when will the market fall another 25-30%. When is that huge fall coming up? So let's just analyze as to how the market fall or the biggest market fall has taken place on the Sensex and the Nifty in the past, you can say 30 years or so, and then we will see as to where I believe that the next big fall is coming up. So let's get started. First of all, a disclaimer that this is not a stock recommendation. People taking any position to any share that I talk about should do that with their own due diligence and research, and I'm not in favor or against any company that I talk about. Before I talk about the next market slump, here's a small request that kindly support me on Patreon, and once you do that, it will help me grow the channel, help you also ask me questions in greater detail. Once you get the $10 membership, you'll have access to my portfolio, my watch list, and a number of podcasts that I put up from day to day. For detailed market or company talk on a number of stocks you are holding individually, you can directly email me and we can work things out. So let's understand what are the different market falls that I remember and I have read about. So I brought that up. There would be many more globally that the fall that has taken place earlier also, the great U.S. recession, etc. But let's focus on India and the falls that has taken place probably in the last 30 years or so. So the Harshad Mehta scam, or you can say the securities scam that took place in 1992, which was unveiled by Sucheta Dalal, and this was 1992, and Harshad manipulated stock prices. How did he do that? Well, you can go ahead and watch the movie, and no promotion here, but watch the series on Harshad Mehta on Sony Live, and you'd understand that. On Scam 92, most of you would have watched. It was a scam of more than 400 crores. Initially it was timed at 400 crores, but eventually it came out that it was around 4,000 crores the scam was. So there are different figures that are coming up. If you calculate on the basis of inflation and adjusting for inflation in today's numbers, it could be more than 25,000 crores the scam would stand out to be. Sensex fell from 4,500 to 2,400 when the revelations were made in April 1992. So the fall over the next 1 year was around, you can say, 40 to 45%. Index remained in slumber and until 1997. So from 93 to 97, there was hardly anything moving except some consumer stocks, consumer staples, etc. Because we saw what happened in the East Asian nations, the Thailand crisis and everything. So 97 was a very turbulent period, and after that, there was a big run of IT companies, etc. And I'll come to the second scam which happened after 1997. So a movie has been made on the case. There has been another movie made on the case, and now a series that has been made on the case. So two movies, one is Gafla, one is Bazaar, and there is a series Scam 92 that has been made on this case. So kindly go ahead and watch that if you have not. Probably you'll have a better understanding as to how the nitty gritties of these things were happening. The second scam that I want to talk to you about, and that's where the fall happened. So you have to understand, 1992 we had that huge fall. 99 2000 combined with the IT crisis, or you can say the technological burst, we had the Ketan Parikh scam, in which the Sensex fell over 8% in a day. Scam, this was of around 1,000 crores at that point of time. It was the pump and dump scheme that he was pumping up K10 stocks, around 10 stocks, which were fundamentally good at that point of time, and there were tailwinds of economy, etc. So there were IT companies, there were, you can say, infrastructure companies that were being pumped up, and at that point of time those cement infrastructure companies were doing well and the sector was doing well, so everybody thought that it is a fundamental move. But then they were being dumped after a huge run up, say 100, 200, 500% run up, 10, 100 or 1000% run up. So This was circular trading that was going on in K10 stocks, which means trading among themselves. So he had some people buying the shares. It's like a family buying the shares and selling between themselves at higher prices. They got funds from banks and promoters of the companies, and along with that, we had the burst of the dot-com bubble that triggered a collapse of these K10 stocks, and then the scam came about. So, on the macro basis, on a larger front, it was the dot-com bubble that led to a massive fall in the index, and 8% in a day, and probably 25-30% from the top. The market fell, and the bottom was eventually made with the you can say the 9/11 attacks of 2001, when the market fell sharply and then started to recover. So from 2000 January till 2001 September, we had that you can say really difficult period, and then from 2001 onwards things started to look really good. The next one that I want to talk to you about is the 2008 crisis, and this is what people talk about a lot. The move that took place between 2004 and 2008 January. It was a 4 years of massive bull run in the market, where the Nifty went up from, I think, 1200, 1300, something like that, all the way to 6000, or I think 2000 to 6000, like that, 3x. So the market went up 3x, and we had tremendous moves in some of the stocks of infrastructure, capital goods, and all the debt laden stocks really did well over a period of 3-4 years. We had a Suzlon go up from 3 rupees to 300 rupees, 3.4 rupees to 340 rupees, 100x in 4 years or something like that. So, and people are believing that what is happening today from 2019 2020 March onwards is on similar lines, and we could see massive run in 21 and 22, and that is why people are even more pumping money, because they believe that if this is a 3x run, we could be headed to 23,000 on the Nifty. So we are at what, 14,000, 15,000. We still have 50% to go. So all this is why, because of the history that we have seen, but there are differences of what took place at that point of time and what has been taking place now. We have to look at how economy does this time around. We have to look at how the performance of the companies would be in the March 21 numbers. So that will be in May. So we have to wait 5-6 months more for real numbers to come in, and I won't be surprised if the market reverses post that. So we have to be careful in that regard. But yes, 2003 to 7 we had that run, and from 4th Jan, or I think around 8th January 2008, the market made a top. And you can look at the numbers, whether it was 4th Jan or 8th Jan, you can write in the comment box. And we had a massive fall in that global recession, which was the real estate recession of the US, and we had the subprime crisis, etc. And we all know about that. So the fall started in January of 2008, and it culminated by March 2009, and then the reversal took place, which was a huge reversal from around 2100 on the Nifty. We went back to 6000 in a year's time. So it was the housing bubble burst in the USA, and scariest fall of the last 15 years, I would believe, because what happened here was that the fall was relentless from January of 2008 till October of 2008. We lost something like from 6300 we were at 2500, so we lost 60% in a matter of, you can say, 8 months or 10 months. So the fall over 10 months from January to October, I think October 22nd or something like that, we fell something like 60% in 10 months on the market. And some of the stocks fell, I think 80-90%. It was total capitulation, and nobody had the gumption to buy any shares whatsoever. And you can see the videos on YouTube about those fall and everything. There are many videos of CNBC, etc. And you will understand that even the biggest investors were scared because of this fall. And so this was the fall. So Sensex fell from 21,000 all the way to 8,000 in 10 months, and bottom, as I said, was made in 2009. Then we had a, not quite a, you can say a fall or something, but we had a period between 2011 January till 2013 August. So 2.5 years, or 2011 March April to 2013 August. So around about 2.5 years of stalled growth and stalled movement on the index. The index kept on gyrating between 6,000 on the upper band to 49, 4,800 on the lower band, 4,600 as the lowest. And when 4,600 was hit, I remember I just started, you can say, looking at the markets and investing. That was my early days, probably the first month, November, December 2011. In December, we had markets go to 4,600, and at that point of time people were talking of 2,200, and people were talking of the similar kind of fall that we had in 2008, 7 8 or 2009. So 2 years before we had that fall, probably we were looking at same numbers, but then we had saw a recovery from 4,600. So that was what was happening in 2012. We had the markets at 5,800, and then the fall again began. The US Fed led the recovery from August 2013, but in 2013 we went from 5,800 back to 5,100. And then I distinctly remember August 28th, 2013, we had the recovery from the bottom, that was 5,115, and the recovery was so sharp that we went up 6% from the lows on the same day. So from 5,115 we went up to 5,400, and we never looked back. And we had that idea, and the people, or the informed investors have had that idea of a new government coming in 2014. So the recovery began from September onwards, just 2 3 days from there. From September onwards, the small cap started to move, and it has never looked back from there on. And we went from 5,100 all the way to 9,100. Then we fell again, and I'll talk about that. And then now we are at 14,600 on the Nifty. So the fall in 2016 was from the highs of 2015. So the 2014, I would call it a bubble, because the government did a lot, but on the ground there were not many things that were happening. And so what happened was, in July, 2 weeks in July of 2015, we had that fall, and by 2016 February, we fell to 6,820. So from 9,100, we had a fall to 6,800. That was a 2,300 point fall. That was a 23% fall from the top, around 25%, you would say, from the top. And the fall was excruciating. In some of the stocks, in just 2 weeks, 30% was lost in 2015. And then slowly but surely from August 2015 onwards, we had seen some of the distribution happening. And in December 2015, with the Delhi elections and Aam Aadmi Party coming in, on that day, I think it was 8th December or something like that, I don't remember what exact date, but around 8th December, we made a top at 9119, and then the fall began. And in just 2 months, from 9120 we were at 6820. It came about after that it was the China crisis, the China real estate crisis, that brought the Chinese markets and the Asian markets to the knees, and India had to fall. But because large investors from the US and the Europe were taking out money from the emerging markets, so we made a bottom on the budget day, the budget probably in which there was taxes announced on, you can say, capital gains. There was a semblance of announcement that the capital gains tax would come in. It came in a year later, but so we ended up seeing that the budget day we had that fall of 6820, and then the recovery started to begin, and we saw another huge recovery in the small caps from 2016 February all the way to 2018 January. 2 years of mega run in the small caps. And now the 2020 crisis, I expected the market to fall in 2024 and not quite in 2020, but we had this massive crisis from 2019 December with the pandemic. So markets made a high of 12,150, 140, round about that, and then started falling as news kicked in February of 2020 in India, and the market started to fall. But by March it had hit India, and we knew that there would be a shutdown, a lockdown here in India, and so the market anticipated that, and we had a fall from 11,600, 700, all the way to 7,500. We all saw that, and it has nosedived 42% in 8 weeks. That is a massive fall, a very scary fall, but the recovery has been sharp, so people are not that scared. Otherwise, if the recovery had taken 14, 15 months, then they would have felt the pinch of a lockdown, etc. So, damage on the ground has been more than what you would expect. On the bourses or on the indices, and that is what I'm fearing, because the recovery on the ground is not that much. We are having a farmers crisis. We would be having crisis with and you can say national population register, etc., and whatever that was happening earlier. We are having governments in states having skirmishes with respect to GST and all. I don't know how much of GST and tax collection there will be in FY22. We are having problems with government even at, you can say, at highest uh, level of the markets, not divesting that much. I hope they do. So there are issues that are in the anvil. It's just that the markets keep going up, so people are not looking at them. There are mega issues. We don't know how the economy is going to pan out after the pandemic. So the damage on the ground has been more than what is on the index, and it has been a V-shaped recovery for once in the last 10 years, as far as I have been looking at the markets. This is the first time I've seen a V-shaped recovery. Otherwise, I would have thought that the recovery would have taken something like 6 to 12 months. So I won't be surprised if we have a dip of 8 to 10% in the market, maybe 15%. But probably going forward, say in the next few months or so, we would end up having a situation in which the markets may just fall a bit and then recover. So we may not see a huge downfall, but yes, the markets may end up falling a bit. So now I believe that 2024 could be the next fall that could come in which market may fall 20 to 25%. Not a small fall that I'm talking about. National elections is the first trigger. Probably by then you could see a change in the government. If that happens, then market may not like, because this government has been more company oriented, and so things would be naive if we have a hung parliament or something like that. We don't know. No, I'm just percolating reasons. Uh, if attained 4 years of bull run, then that itself would be a negative. So probably if this continues for another 3 years and the markets go to say 20,000, 22,000 or beyond, then eventually the market has to fall, and probably they will fall 20 to 25% just on the weight of the kind of move that the market would have seen. So we could have, just because of the government maybe changing hands, or having a hung parliament, we could be having a situation in which the market may fall 20-25% in 4 years' time. There could be major economic parameters may start to reverse. So currently we are seeing everything looks good, that growth in the tractor segment, growth in the automobile segment, etc. But by that point of time, everything should have normalized, and then we could be looking at FY23 numbers, and probably FY23 numbers would be the best, because 21 we will see the recovery happening altogether, the vaccine getting in and all those things. By 22 we would recover totally. So by FY23 we will have a situation where the markets may end up producing the best performance on the ground. So if that is going to be the benchmark, then FY24 might not be that great. So economically speaking, on the basis of the numbers, things could be pretty treacherous. So there could be major economic parameters that would turn negative for the market. Change at the helm, as I explained, that if new regime comes in at the top in India, things would be totally different. If that doesn't happen, that will also mean that we could make a top. So, for example, the same government comes in and the market is running high at 20,000 or 22, 23,000 on the Nifty, then also we could make a top, because we'll believe that okay, this is the best thing that could have happened for the market, that the same government has come in with majority, and so people will book profit. So in both the cases we could see a slight fall if in the case of the same government coming in, or a massive fall if the government changes. As I explained, if this continues, valuations may end up being very stretched, and in that regard, the fall will be triggered based on the fact that they on the weight of the market itself, under its own weight, the market will end up falling. External threats to the market are always there. So if there is global problems and there is, you can say, global policy changes that hurt the markets globally, then there is no way India would sustain. And so if global markets fall huge, then for sure the markets here in India will end up falling on nine pins, and then the recovery will take time. So this is my assessment of the next market fall and what has happened over the last 20, 25, 30 years. Kindly like and subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so you can get my videos straight away when I post it, and support me on Patreon. Thanks a lot for watching.